Hello and welcome everyone, this is Mike. I'm the founder and CEO of SuiteDash. Welcome to Academy Sessions. These sessions are designed to help you by learning directly from experts in our community who have hands-on experience with SuiteDash. What makes these sessions special is that they are hosted by SuiteDash experts from our community. We've given these experts free rein to develop these presentations based on their actual experiences helping SuiteDash customers just like you, and this allows for a truly authentic and practical learning experience. Each expert brings their own presentation style and perspective, and that's what makes Academy Sessions so valuable. We've entrusted the host to shape the content in a way that best addresses the common questions and challenges our customers face every day, and this approach ensures that the information is not only practical, but also deeply connected to real-world use cases. Be sure to subscribe to SuiteDash on YouTube and follow us on all other social media channels to stay up to date on new features, announcements, and promotions. Okay, that's my intro. Let's get on with the session.
Today we're going to learn what multi-deal stage pipelines are, 2 key advantages of multi-deal stage pipelines, and an advanced walkthrough of multi-deal stage pipelines. Deal stage pipelines are a dynamic and flexible tool that help manage your sales process across different products, services, and client types. By allowing multiple pipelines, businesses can tailor their deal stages to fit unique workflows, ensuring a more structured and efficient sales journey. With built-in automation, deals can move seamlessly between stages based on specific triggers, such as form submissions, scheduled meetings, or completed contracts, reducing manual effort and ensuring leads progress smoothly through the sales cycle. The first key advantage of multi-deal stage pipelines is customization for different sales processes. It allows businesses to tailor their sales workflow to fit different offerings, ensuring that each product or service follows a structured and optimized path from lead to close. The second key advantage of multi-deal stage pipelines is greater automation control and efficiency. By triggering specific actions and automations when a deal moves between stages, businesses can automate repetitive tasks, speed up response times, and ensure deals progress smoothly, all without manual intervention. This results in a more efficient and streamlined sales operation. To add a new deal or create a new deal, you're going to head over to the CRM menu and choose either Deals or click the plus icon next to Deals. So we're going to go ahead and select Deals. We see here that we have no deals created, though if we want to manually create a deal, we're going to click either of these Add Deal buttons here. We will need to select the target, and let's say we want to create a new deal for the Alan Brady Show. We'll give our deal a title. We'll say newest deal. We can add some details in here if we want to. We will need to then select the category of the deal as well. Let's say photo shoot, just as an example. Then we'll need to select the expected close date of the deal. So we can say 1 month from now. Next, we need to set an expected value. So let's say $1,500 USD, or we could do euros if we wanted to. Then we're going to select our pipeline. And the pipeline that we have right now is just this pipeline right here. We'll go ahead later on in this video and create a brand new pipeline from scratch so you can see how all of that works together. And we even are able to select which stage we are at in the pipeline for this deal. We also are able to select followers And followers receive email notifications when the deal is created. So let's say we want me, and let's say we want Mr. Mike to be followers for this particular deal. Then we have the ability to trigger our automations when this deal is moved from one stage to another. Now, let's say, as an example, you already have in and out automations for several different stages. Enabling this here will put a third level of automations in play so that when a deal is moved, regardless of whether it is in or out of that particular phase, an automation will fire at each stage. You could, for example, set an automation to send an email to an internal staff member and or a team that says, hey, this deal is moving right along as expected, and so forth. I'm not going to set any automations, but all you would go ahead and do next is save this, and your deal is going to show up here as we see. We see the target of the deal, the Alan Brady Show. We see the deal title, which is the newest deal. We see the deal category. We see the expected value of the deal. We see the expected close date of the deal. We also see the pipeline that is applied to this deal and the stage of the deal. Now, if we want to manage this deal, we'll just click on the deal itself, and we can see that we have all of those different assignments available here. We see the deal category. We see the expected value. We see all of the different stages in our pipeline that we have available. We see the client that the deal is assigned to, the followers of the deal, as well as the description and the history, what has been going on in this deal. And we see, because nothing has been going on in this deal as of yet, we only have the notification that a deal has been created. We can go ahead and edit the description right from here if we want. Edited description, just say, for the sake of simplicity. Go ahead, save that, and we have our new edited deal description. From here, we can also move the deal to different stages. As you see in this history here, when we move a deal into a new stage or out of a stage, we're going to be able to track those movements in the history here. So let's go and say the franchise agreement has been sent. In this case, we're at that stage of the process, and that information, that history, updates in real time. We can also designate whether this deal has been won or lost right from here. And we also are able to, when we click on this three-dot menu, we can edit some of the details right from here, which will bring all of these different options back to us, and we can make our edits in this way as well. We'll go ahead and we'll just exit out of this here. We will say that this deal was lost for whatever reason. And if a deal has been lost, you can always click here and reopen the deal, and it's going to bring up this pop-up menu where you'll select the stage to reopen the deal. So if you want to start from the very beginning, which in this case would be the initial assessment, you can go ahead and reopen the deal. And there you go. The deal is reopened and reset to the original stage, or whichever stage you've chosen when you go about doing that. So with that, we're going to head into the deal stage pipelines themselves, because as we mentioned before, when we go and create a new deal, we're going to have to assign it a pipeline. And not all deals may have the same deal pipeline. So let's go back to deals. So from our deals dashboard, we're going to click on pipelines. And as I mentioned before, we already have a pipeline set up. We are going to later on show you step by step how this pipeline was created so that you may get an idea as to how you can get granular and have a greater degree of control over the deal process with something like this. So to create a new pipeline, we can click the Add Pipeline button. We'll give our pipeline a title. We'll just say New Pipeline. And we'll say New Pipeline Description. And we'll go ahead and add our new pipeline. We see right here, adding a new pipeline. And if we want to update the title or description of this new pipeline or any one of your pipelines, you'll just head over to the options menu here and you're going to select edit. Of course, you can view the pipeline and delete the pipeline from here as well. We'll go ahead and view this pipeline. We see here that we already have a pre-configured set of stages within our pipeline, and the way that we go about adding, removing, updating these stages, we're going to click Manage Stages, and we can remove items from our pipeline. We can modify the title, New Pipeline Stage. Let's just say we can modify the probabilities. Let's say at this stage of the game, we have a 10% probability of winning this deal. Let's say at this stage of the game, we have a 50% probability of winning this deal. And here we have a 99% probability of winning this deal. You can get as granular as you need to with respect to the probabilities, with respect to the titles. Again, you can add a pipeline step here if you need to, and so on and so forth. Now let's assume that everything is good here, even though this kind of looks like a mess. We can go right up here and click Save Changes, or if we had made some edits that simply don't align with what it is we're trying to do, we can simply click this Cancel button, and the changes that we made will be canceled. So we'll go ahead and we'll save this. And we see here now the changes have been saved for our new pipeline. Now, the cool thing here is at every stage of our pipeline, we can add automations that will trigger when a deal is moved into the stage and out of the stage. A nice example of this would be going right here. Let's say this is the very first step in the process in the pipeline. When a deal is moved to this stage, we can configure an automation that sends an email to the internals, and perhaps we want to send a email to the managers of our negotiation or sales team in this case, with all of the different information here with the subject, email body, etc. And when the deal is moved into this particular stage, in other words, when you have created a deal and started it at this stage of the process, let's say in this case being the first step in the pipeline, that email notification will fire and the team associated with that email notification is going to receive all of that information. Wonderful, beautiful. Another thing we can do here is when a deal is moved out of this stage, let's say we want to remove the client or the prospect who is a part of this deal from a particular circle. We can do all of that here. We can remove them from multiple circles or even remove them from all circles entirely in that case. And then we can go ahead and save those changes as necessary. So with that, I'm not going to set any automations for any of these stages because, again, I already have an example pipeline set up showing all of the different opportunities and functionalities that you can use here that we're going to get to in a moment. Though also from this area, this pipeline, we can click right here and add a new deal directly to this pipeline and choose the stage that it would start in, all of the different options that we had available when we created a new deal earlier. So we're able to, from multiple angles, create new deals at whichever part of the process that we need to, creating a greater degree of flexibility with how it is that you work with deals inside of SuiteDash. So I'm going to exit out of that. And now we're going to talk about the forecast view of deal stage pipelines. The forecast view of deal stage pipelines shows the projected revenue forecast per month based on the deals that have been generated for that particular month. Of course, as we see, there have been no deals generated for this month or any of the following months, of course, so we don't see any numbers here. If you want to see the forecast view for previous months, you can go ahead and click these buttons up here. It will show you the revenue forecasts for previous periods as well as potentially future periods. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and look at deal generators. We'll go ahead and go back to our pipelines and select generators. We already have a generator set up for Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase, and in order to create a new deal generator, we can go ahead and select this Add Deal Generator button. And here we will be presented with all of the different information that we did when we had created a new deal. And what this allows us to do is pre-configure all of the different settings for a new deal that is generated via automation for when, example, somebody submits a kickoff form, schedules a meeting with a salesperson via a booking form, or takes another type of action within your SuiteDash installation. So we can give this a reference title. We'll just say New Deal Generator. We have the ability to add dynamic data placeholders. So let's say New Deal Generated for, and let's say company name and date generated. Let's say with this date and time data placeholder, let's say the current date. Next, we can add some new details. This is a new set of details for this deal. We'll select a category. Let's say it's logo design in this case. We'll say relative due date will be 30 days. We'll say the expected value is $150. Our pipeline will say new pipeline. We won't add any followers here or automations, but we'll go ahead and save this new deal generator. And now we see we have a brand new deal generator. Now, you might be wondering why we're seeing this beautiful booking form when we were talking about multi-deal stage pipelines. Well, if you recall from earlier, we have a deal stage pipeline that's already pre-configured for a Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase opportunity. And the way that I have this pipeline set up is when somebody books this appointment type, a deal generator is going to fire that houses my pre-configured deal stage pipeline that we seen earlier on in the video. So with that, we're going to go ahead. As we see, this is already pre-selected. We're going to say 9 a.m. and we'll just leave the time zone as it is, and we'll move to the next step. We'll say example email at example.com, just to be brief about it. We'll say new opportunity, and the company name we'll just set New Opportunity LLC. Why not? Then we'll click next step and confirm the details. Everything looks good. We have an appointment at 9 a.m. on the 31st with Niles Crane for an initial franchise assessment, and it's a 30-minute appointment. We're going to go ahead and book that appointment. Now that we've booked that appointment, we're going to head back into our Vandelay Industries SuiteDash installation and see all of the different things that are going on behind the scenes. As we knew would happen, our new deal is already opened up with the target, the deal title itself, category, expected value, and so forth. Now let's head into the actual pipeline itself and see what automation opportunities are available and what's going on underneath the surface. So we're going to head up to our pipeline here, and we're going to go right into our Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase deal stage pipeline. And we see here we have the newest deal, and we have our Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase that we mentioned earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that particular deal from this pipeline. Now we have the ability to manually move the deals in and out of different deal stages as we need to, and all of the automations that we have set for our different deal stages, if any, are going to still fire the way that we need them to. And let's go into our appointment settings, because I don't have any automation set for either part of this deal, moving in or moving out, due to the fact that I want the next automation to fire when a very specific thing happens, which is when the appointment is completed. So let's head over into the appointment type related to this deal. We'll head over to our calendar, and we're going to click appointment types. We see here the initial franchise investment with Niles Crane as the designated staff member in that case. And we're going to head into this appointment type by clicking here. Then we're going to scroll all the way down, and we see how these things are set up. The automation that fires when an appointment is booked for this appointment type is that deal generator that we talked about before. Let's go into it and look here. We see the deal generator, and we see Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase. Here, triggering automations when an appointment for this appointment type is completed, we have email internals. I wonder why we're doing that. We look here at the email itself, and it says, please submit the staff submit update form that indicates whether or not the recent franchise prospect has a genuine interest in continuing the process for becoming a new franchisee. So when this appointment is completed between the salesperson, in this case being Dr. Niles Crane, and the contact, Dr. Niles Crane is going to receive this email, and he's going to be able to copy this staff submit update form, and based on how he submits this form will determine what happens inside of the deal stage pipeline. So let's go to that form right now. Exit out of this. We don't need to save anything right now. We're going to head over to Forms. Now, we're going to go into the Cafe Nervosa franchise meeting outcome update form that we see here. I'm going to click on it. And we see first name, last name, potential franchisee notes, and meeting outcome. We are wanting to look at this meeting outcome, which is a choice block. Now, when Dr. Niles Crane goes to submit this form and chooses the offer rejected choice from the choice block, it's going to move the deal to the offer rejected stage. If he chooses offer rejected with 3-month follow-up, let's say, for example, the deal sounds great, all this other stuff, but the prospect wants to follow up about the opportunity in, say, 3 months, we have that automation opportunity here as well, which, when triggered, will both move the deal to the offer rejected stage and assign a follow-up event generator to Dr. Niles Crane within 3 months. Should Dr. Niles Crane choose the start qualification flow choice in the choice block, it will move the deal to the qualification flow stage, which assigns an on-demand flow to the prospect so that they can continue in the process. Now, if we go into these opportunities, or these options rather, we see here with the trigger automations, and the first one, the offer rejected, which moves the deal to the offer rejected stage. We see the only automation we have set here is to move the deal to the stage. The reason why is because we have an automation set up at the stage level that will trigger additional automations when the deal is moved into that stage. Furthermore, with the offer rejected plus 3-month follow-up, we have an automation that applies the event generator that we had created. We'll just look at the event generator, which is the Cafe Nervosa franchise assessment 3-month follow-up event generator, reminding both people that we have a follow-up call scheduled 3 months out. We also, here with the start qualification flow choice, have move deal to stage. Again, due to the fact that we set the automation to fire when the deal is moved into that particular stage, which triggers the on-demand flow. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the deal stages themselves and see what the offer rejected stage does, as well as the start qualification flow. So we're going to head back into our deals, and we're going to head into our pipeline to the Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase deal stage pipeline. And we see here with this qualification trigger flow stage, we see manage on-demand flows when this deal is moved into this stage, and we've assigned the franchisee qualification assessment on-demand flow when the deal is moved into this stage. Go ahead and we'll save that. And we have over here the offer rejected or unqualified stage. We see that there are no automations set here, though we can just as easily assign more automations as we need to and want to with respect to something like this. Perhaps you want to send a form cannon to the staff member that allows them to take notes about why they feel it is that this deal was lost, or that maybe we need to tighten a couple of different things within the sales process or the qualification phase and so forth. So we're going to quickly now go into this on-demand flow and see what's going on as far as the automations are concerned. So I'm going to exit out of that. We're going to go over here to onboarding and click on flows. And we will see here the franchisee qualification assessment on-demand flow. Now, I don't have anything in here other than a form. This is simply for demonstration purposes. But when this flow is complete, we have another email internals automation. And this automation sends an email to that target's salesperson to let them know, hey, they've completed the qualification flow, and we need to submit this staff submit update form after we had assessed their level of qualification based on the information that they submit in this on-demand flow, and it will fire the appropriate automations as necessary. So let's go quickly and see that particular form and what it does. We're going to head over and we'll head into this Cafe Nervosa franchise unqualified/qualified plus document update form. And we see here the same information as before, minus the notes, and we've replaced it with the company name. We still have this choice block. I don't have the information as to what will happen when one or the other choice is chosen during the form submission down here. So when, let's say, the salesperson or whoever oversees the qualification parameters of the franchisees says, okay, this person is approved, let's move to the next stage, they're qualified, we're going to head into these automations and we are going to do two things. We're going to send an email to the target, which is going to be that potential franchisee, letting them know that they are in fact qualified to move forward in the process and so forth. And we have a move deal to stage, which is the franchisee agreement sent. Now, we don't see any sort of documents here or anything like that with respect to the automations, and that's due to the fact that when a deal is moved into this stage here, the franchisee document and all of that stuff is going to fire as a result of the deal moving into that stage. So that is all wonderful. Down here with the denied or unqualified, we have two automations here, which is, of course, sending an email to a target, letting them know, hey, unfortunately, right now you don't meet the qualifications of being a Cafe Nervosa franchisee. We apologize, etc., and moving the deal to the stage of offer rejected, unqualified. So we are going to now head into the deal stage that is appropriate to send the document to the potential franchisee, which is franchisee agreement sent. So we're going to head back over to our deals once again. Deals, pipelines, Cafe Nervosa franchise purchase deal stage pipeline. And the franchisee agreement sent, we're going to manage our automations, and we see here that we have generate document, which is that franchisee agreement document generator. And of course, we have the title and all of those great things here. Now, once the document is signed by the potential franchisee, we're going to head into that document now. Going to head into Office. We're going to head into Documents. We are going to see that the Alan Brady Show already has a document. We're going to go into the options and we're going to manage our automations. And we see here that there are two new automations. One, recurring invoice generator, and move deal to stage. We see the recurring invoice generator here. We see that they've moved into the franchise fee invoice sent stage. Now, we have additional automations inside of this recurring invoice generator that are also very important. So let's head into that recurring invoice generator and see what we have going on. So we will head into our Office settings. We will head into recurring invoice generators. We're going to choose our Cafe Nervosa annual franchise fees generator. And scrolling down, we're going to see that the assigned automations that trigger when this invoice is generated is adding that contact to a schedule that we've set up. And the schedule that we see is Cafe Nervosa annual franchise fees awaiting payment. Now, when this invoice is paid, they are removed from this same schedule here, and the deal stage is moved to the new franchisee. Now, let's look at that schedule and see what's going on there. So, from here, we're going to head into automations and we're going to head into schedules. We see the Cafe Nervosa annual franchise fees awaiting payment schedule. We're going to go right into that, and we're going to look at the automations that we have set up. And here we have payment not finalized 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and rescinding offer at 4 weeks. And at each stage of this process, let's see, after 1 week, there are 2 emails. One sent to the target of the automation, which at this stage of the game would be the prospective franchisee, letting them know, hey, we know that an invoice has been generated to pay your franchise fee, and it's been a week. We haven't received the payment. Just reminding you that that needs to be done, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for looking into this opportunity and hoping to move forward with us. And we have an internal email that also lets our staff members from the target's salesperson, coordinator, and the entire negotiations team, hey, just letting you know that the franchisee has not made their franchise fee payment, and so forth, and we'll continue to monitor, etc. So this keeps going, this automation cycle with these emails keep going, and at the 4-week mark, if they have not paid that franchise fee invoice, they will be sent this offer rescinded email saying, hey, we're going to have to go back to the beginning and do this whole process over again, so on and so forth. And the internals are also emailed saying, hey, look, pretty much the same exact thing, but on the staff side, making sure that everybody from the staff in your organization to the target themselves are notified of everything that's going on in the process. Now, if you recall, in the recurring invoice generator, we have the automation set up when that invoice is paid to remove them from this schedule. So let's say they have the recurring invoice generator generated. It's been 1 week. They haven't made the payment. They are going to receive that first email that I had outlined there. But let's say it's a week and 1 day. They're not going to then receive that second email for the second week, letting them know that they're 2 weeks behind on their initial franchise fee payment because they have been removed from that schedule. Now we're going to go back into the deal stage pipeline and see the automations that we have set up when a deal is moved into the new franchisee phase. So go back over to deals, going to head into pipelines, going to select the Cafe Nervosa franchise purpose pipeline, and we see here the new franchisee deal. And we see that we have send email to target and add to checklists. This sends them a nice congratulatory email, letting them know of next steps and so on and so forth. We also have a Cafe Nervosa franchisee checklist here that we can assign them to and add to their dashboard. All of those wonderful things from start to sale. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this walkthrough of deal stage pipelines and deal generators. If you did, please like this video and leave a comment down below how we can improve these videos moving forward, because ultimately we are here to serve and support you and look forward to doing so well into the future.